Eden, Florida. Only 8 days left in spring training, yet there is still time to make an impression with management. Jays, Tigers, next. An overcast afternoon here at Florida Auto Exchange Stadium. Rain is in the forecast. That is not scaring fans away from the ballpark today, although there is a chance we may see some of the wet stuff later on this afternoon. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Blue Jays Baseball on Sportsnet. I'm Barry Davis. The Detroit Tigers have won the American League Central in each of the last 4 seasons, and once again come into this year stacked offensively and have a rotation anchored by David Price. The big concern for them, health. Both Victor Martinez and Miguel Cabrera went into the offseason needing surgery. There was some question whether either of them would be ready for opening day. That, however, has changed over the last week. They both got back into the lineup this week, and in fact, Cabrera and Martinez both homered yesterday. The good news for the Blue Jays is they will not have to face either one of those guys today. And for more on today's game, let's send it upstairs to our play-by-play team. Here's Buck Martinez and the recently returned Pat Tabler.
Thank you, Barry. It's good to have Pat back in the booth as spring training is winding down. And, Pat, this team is starting to sort things out. How do you think the spring has gone so far for the Blue Jays?
Well, I think there's been a lot of questions that have been answered with this ball club, and the roster is really starting to take shape over the last 10 days. We're going to see some more competition as you take a look at this. Michael Saunders is going to start the season on the disabled list, out of the picture, so Kevin Pillar's had a great spring. He'll probably be your outfielder. Dalton Pompey's been outstanding. It looks like he's going to be the center fielder, but you see the competition on the right side of the infield with the 3 second basemen, the 3 first basemen. There's still some questions that have to be answered here the last 10 days. They have some versatility. I love Valencia being able to play the outfield, first base, and third base.
Great pitching matchup here this afternoon. We're going to see the former Cy Young and MVP of the Tigers, Justin Verlander. And if you count backwards from opening day, Drew Hutchison might open up as the starter in New York.
It certainly looks that way for Justin Verlander. He had a down year last year, at least for him. He still won 15 games. That's 7 times down his 9 big league seasons. He's won at least 15 games. And for Drew Hutchison, I think he's going to try and build on what he did last year. 32 starts he made last year, first time in his career that he's done that. He won 8 games against the American League East last year. 8 of 11 wins against American League East. If you can pitch in the American League East, you can win.
Spring training winding down here in Dunedin, Florida. Only 3 more home games for the Blue Jays. They're looking to finish up on a positive note. 14 wins so far for the Jays. Dunedin, Florida. Blue Jays and Tigers ready to play this exhibition game here in the Grapefruit League. Let's take a look at the lineup for 45-year-old Brad Ausmus in his second year as the Tigers manager. Played 18 seasons in the big leagues. Anthony Gose, former Blue Jay, will lead things off. Alex Avila is playing at first base today. Then J.D. Martinez had a breakout season a year ago. Collins, Castellanos, Prison, James McCann, Hernan Perez, and Andrew Romine round out the lineup, and they're set to take on Drew Hutchison. Starting pitchers are brought to you by Scott's Weed Be Gone. This spring, knock weeds out of your ballpark with Scott's Weed Be Gone. Kills weeds, not lawns.
Fourth appearance of the spring for Drew Hutchison, his third start. He is on 85-plus pitches this afternoon. Let's see how far that takes him.
Anthony Gose, the former Blue Jay, hacks at the first pitch and fouls it back, and we are underway. Gose has had a good spring, 340 average for the spring. Those are his numbers from a year ago. He spent parts of 3 seasons with the Blue Jays. Hot shot past the second baseman into right. Brian Goins dives for it, but couldn't make the play. Leadoff base hit for Gose. Take a look at the outfield defense. It's Pilar, Pompey, and Bautista. This very well could be the opening day outfield. Donaldson, Reyes on the left side. Goins, Smoke on the right side. And Russell Martin playing in his 14th game behind the plate here this afternoon.
And at second base, we see Ryan Goins. This is his 21st game this spring. He is the club leader. He's looking to do more and more. This guy's got an excellent chance of making this ball club.
Super utility man, the way things set up. Gose fakes a break, and this is where the Blue Jays really have to be aware of their positioning on defense. Anthony is 5 for 6 in steals this spring.
They certainly do. They've got the shift on the right side of the infield. Josh Donaldson was breaking to the bag on that fake bluff by Gose over at first base. If he does steal and he's successful, Russell Martin's got to get over to third base. It's going to be unoccupied.
This was an area of concern for Drew Hutchison, the base runners, and in an effort to counteract the base stealers, he's quickened up his pace from the set position.
I think he still has to be able to vary his delivery towards home plate, hold the ball a little bit longer at times, maybe quicken up the pace towards the plate. But this is a big pitch for him to try and keep that base runner first.
Alex Avila tries to bunt to that vacated position at third, and he just laughs at himself for that awkward attempt.
That's really interesting when you've got this type of a defensive alignment that the Blue Jays have out there. You've got the whole left side. All you have to do is get the ball down on the ground. And Anthony Gose is going to be at third base.
Yeah. And you know what? You're going to see more and more of this year is the continuing use of the shifts.
They have to figure out a way to counteract what these shifts have been doing in baseball.
We've already seen Prince Fielder drop down a bunt this year. And you're going to see more and more of it. Trying to get the defense to play it more straight up. 0-2 to Alex Avila playing at first base this afternoon. Those breaks, and Avila gets tied up with that inside hitter.
It is tough with Drew Hutchison because the ball gets onto you. That is a purpose pitch right there with 2 strikes. Throw that ball up and in, see what Avila's going to be doing right there. Hutchison's got that quick arm action, and that ball gets on top of you very quickly.
Changeup foul off the screen. We had mentioned Drew Hutchison. Boy, did he ever finish up strong last season. Over his last 7 starts, he had 57 strikeouts in those 7 games. Only Corey Kluber and Carlos Carrasco in the American League had more strikeouts than Hutchison down the stretch. Of course, Kluber won the Cy Young Award. Missed down and in. Russell Martin liked that last pitch.
In a good spot, looking for the strikeout or looking for the ground ball right here from Hutchison. You mentioned the strikeouts. He averaged a strikeout per inning last season, Hutchison. He's got weapons to get you out. This spring, he was telling me the other day he's working on a 2-seamer, trying to get a little bit more ground ball efficiency.
1-2 to Avila. Gose not running. Another foul on the inside fastball. We mentioned Drew Hutchison was kind of set up to open up the season. There has been no official announcement about how the rotation is going to set up, but if you count backwards from opening day, 10 days, 2 starts, and he'll be opening up against the Yankees.
That's where it certainly looks like, doesn't it? The last 2 seasons for Drew Hutchison with the Blue Jays, you can see the 32 starts last year, 184 innings pitched, 184 strikeouts for Hutch. And I just think at 24 years old, he's just going to get better and better.
Yeah, and you know what? He said his goal first and foremost is pitch 200 innings. In order to do that, first you have to stay healthy, but secondly, you have to be consistent. There goes Ghost, breaking ball, pulled to the first baseman. Smoke will take it and step on the bag. Ghost moves to second base on the ground out. 1 down. Anthony Ghost, we mentioned he's been 3 years here with the Blue Jays. The Tigers were in need of a defensive center fielder, somebody of the spacious center field at Comerica Park, and Ghost fits that bill.
They weren't the same team, were they, last year after Austin Jackson was traded away? It's 440 feet to dead center field at Comerica Park, and you need some speed out there. When he was gone, they needed a replacement. They think they found one in Anthony Ghost.
And J.D. Martinez playing in right field this spring. He was in left field a year ago. Of course, Torrey Hunter was the right fielder for the Tigers. He has since moved back to his original team in Minnesota. Boy, what a season a year ago for J.D. Martinez.
Came out of nowhere, really. Houston let him go at the end of spring training. Came over to the Detroit Tigers, changed his stance just a little bit more upright, trying to drive the ball, and had a huge year. He's having a huge spring this year.
J.D. Martinez has 5 home runs this spring. That is tied for the lead in the American League in spring training numbers. He and Steve Pearce have 5 home runs. Bautista is tied for second with 4, along with a host of hitters, including Albert Pujols. Ball on a strike. Broken bat. Shortstop Reyes gobbles it up. 2 down. Hutchison did a good job of taking the sting out of the bat with that breaking ball.
A big power hitter and Martinez, and that sharp, late-breaking slider did all the tricks right there. Just kept it right off the bat and got himself some wood right there. Broke his bat.
Well, a little bit different story with Ghost at third base and 2 down for the cleanup hitter. Today it's Tyler Collins. In a regular day, it'd be Victor Martinez. Martinez and Cabrera are not here with the Tigers this afternoon. Collins is 24 years old. He got into 18 games for the Tigers a year ago. He's got a little pop. Last year he had 18 home runs. In 2013 he had 21 home runs in Double-A. One thing that we have seen, Pat, last year or so is the improvement of Hutchison to take something off of his pitches.
Last year in spring training, it looked like he was burning everything in there as hard as he could to try and make the club. Remember, a year ago at this time, there was no guarantees for Hutch. He had to go out there and make the team. This year, he can experiment with a few more things. And he was saying, I'm going to work on a curveball early in the ball count, early in the count, just kind of drop that curveball in there at times. He did that right there to Collins for strike 1. Then he threw a changeup. Now he can go anywhere. He can go up, down, in, out. And he goes up.
Upstairs for a strikeout. So a leadoff base hit, stranded at third base. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Jose Reyes will lead things off when we come back to Florida. Swinging the bats well, and they have pitched very well all spring long. Let's take a look at the lineup this afternoon. Reyes, Martin, Bautista, pretty potent top of the order. Edwin Encarnacion is starting to swing the bat a little more confidently now. He's missed a lot of time because of his back issues. Donaldson, Pompey, Smoke, Kevin Pillar, and Ryan Goins round out the lineup, and they're set to take on Justin Verlander.
Fifth appearance of the spring for Verlander. He pitched into the fifth inning in his last start. That was against Washington. He gave up 5 earned runs on 5 hits and a couple of walks. He had 2 strikeouts in that game. Last season, you see the number is 15-12 with an ERA of 4.54, which was the highest of his career. He's not throwing as hard as he used to. He's going to have to start using his secondary pitches a little bit more frequently.
No one has thrown more innings in baseball than Justin Verlander when you combine his regular season work with his postseason innings. And it encompasses the last 8 seasons as Verlander delivers a first pitch strike to Reyes.
Isn't it funny to talk about Verlander having a down year and he won 15 games for a team that won their division? But that's just the standard and the bar that he set so high.
Changeup, and Reyes pops it up. Second baseman Hernan Perez is there. 1 down. Take a look at the defense behind Verlander. It's Collins, Ghost, and J.D. Martinez, who moves from left to right field this season. Nick Castellanos kind of getting settled back in at third base. Romine and Perez up the middle. Avila playing at first base for the first time this spring. James McCann has had a good spring behind the plate.
Tigers wanting to get a little bit more versatility from Avila over at first base. He is normally the catcher. He's had some knee problems in the past, and they can give him a little bit of a break playing some first base and spelling Cabrera when they need to.
Russell Martin cuts on the first fastball and swings right through it. Martin for the spring just 8 for 36. He had an opposite field home run here for his only RBI of the spring.
You know, and it looks like John Gibbons is going to leave him in that number 2 hole for the season. He's got a great eye at the plate. He can handle the bat. He's got a very good on-base percentage.
The last time Russell Martin faced Justin Verlander was last August 11th when the Tigers were in Pittsburgh, and they knocked Verlander out after 1 inning. His shortest start of his career. Ironically, Verlander struck out the side, including Russell Martin. But he gave up 5 runs in the bottom of the first. He threw 40 pitches, and he was out of the ballgame.
He's a horse. He's a guy that takes the ball. He didn't have his best stuff last year. Evidence of that 450 earned run average, but he takes the ball and he competes.
Well, he had surgery to repair an abdominal muscle injury he suffered in December of 2013, and it just never was 100%. I don't care who you are, when you have a major injury in your core, it's going to take a while to overcome it. 1-2, 1 out. There's that good breaking ball. Verlander thought it was strike 3. DJ Rayburn is behind the plate. Verlander saying, okay, I wonder where that one was.
Here it is. Curveball. That has been known to be called a strike in the past for Verlander. Not this afternoon.
2-2. That's a high breaking ball, and he strikes him out. That slider may have backed up a little bit.
Well, he's got all the weapons when he takes them out. He's got a good fastball, obviously. The curveball, his changeup is outstanding. He can sink it just a little bit more. That time it looked like he got on top of that one. And you're right, backed up a little bit and caught Russell Martin by surprise.
A classic matchup, Verlander against Jose Bautista. Jose's having a good spring, 3.10 average so far. Bautista has 4 homers. Those are the only 4 extra base hits he's had so far this spring, but that's what he does. Knocks it out of the yard. Big breaking ball around the inside corner. Bautista's coming off a terrific season a year ago. Verlander looks pretty sharp early.
Yeah, for his 5th appearance of the spring. Last time out, he had a couple of walks and a couple of strikeouts.
He got hit pretty hard by the Washington Nationals. Looks like he's dotting that fastball in the outer half now.
95 velocity is in good shape so far.
He has that ability, I think, to reach back better than anybody in baseball, where he needs a little bit more on his fastball in the 6th, 7th, 8th inning. He can go and find it.
They're making pretty good pitches early in this ball game. That was 96 just off the outside corner.
And there's just a little bit more. He can pace himself. He's been known to do that to get the innings and get deep into ball games. And then when he needs a little bit more on that fastball, he can reach back for it.
Bautista skies it to center. That's going to stay in the park. Anthony Gose coasts over, gets it, and Verlander has our 1-2-3 inning. Wants to know where those pitches are. Cloudy day, there's a chance of rain, but so far so good.
Brought to you by Scott's Coated Grass Seed. This spring, build up your outfield, even if you miss a day of watering, with Scott's Coated Grass Seed.
Welcome back to Dunedin, Florida. We've played a scoreless inning so far. Drew Hutchison on for his second inning of work. Gave up a single to Anthony Gose, but he left Gose stranded at third. This is Nick Castellanos, the third baseman for the Tigers. Castellanos is just 23 years old. He grew up in Florida.
Watched him take batting practice today, and he is shooting a lot of balls to right field. He was working on trying to drive the ball into right field. So it tells me that he might be opening up just a little bit too much.
Spring training's all about adjustments, that's for sure. Castellanos, as we mentioned, just 23 years old. Pretty good swing back there. I didn't realize how big he was. Of course, you see these guys and then you forget. He's 6'3" and weighs about 220. He's a big man.
And he just keeps getting better and better. They have a good one in him. You mentioned it very briefly when you were talking about the defense, how they were pushing him from third base into the outfield, now back at third base. And he's going to be a good one.
He's had a tough season a year ago defensively. He committed 15 errors down at third base, but he played right field in 2012 in the minors, left field in 2013, and he's a natural third baseman, so he's just now getting reacclimated to the position.
And the reason why he was playing in the outfield, they had a guy named Miguel Cabrera situated over at third base for those years.
So now Cabrera is back at first base. That's opened up a spot for Castellanos at third. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Upstairs, and Hutchison overthrew that pitch and missed.
His slider has been better this spring. That's one of the things that he's been working on. He said he's trying to stay a little bit more smooth through the delivery. I think that has made his slider just a little bit better. It helps his arm to get on top of that ball.
That's popped up right side of the infield. Brian Goins, the second baseman, calls for it. Come down. Hutchison, as Pat mentioned, has really gone about his business in a professional manner this spring. And I think he has set a high standard for himself as far as improving on last season.
Big difference when he came into camp last year. Last year it was max effort, everything. Let me show you that I can make this team. I want to be one of the starters. He was pumping that ball in there 94, 95, 96 miles an hour all spring last year. You think that might have had some effect on him as the season wore on?
No question about it. I think he was out of gas to start the season. There's a two-hopper to second. Jason Priestley, the DH, is retired. 2 quick outs here in the second.
This year a little bit different for Drew. He knows he's going to be on the team. He can work on some things. He's been working on that sinker, trying to sink the ball just a little bit more. Complement that changeup with that sinker.
2 quick outs here in the top of the second inning. Today's catcher is James McCann. Down and away with that first pitch slider. McCann hit .295 a year ago at AAA Toledo. Had 7 homers and 54 RBIs. Got up to the big leagues and played in 9 games with the Tigers. Went 3 for 12 in his only big league experience. He's 24 years old. He was drafted out of the University of Arkansas in 2011.
They too have some catchers and some decisions that they have to make behind the plate. Avila, Ryan Holiday, James McCann. So just like everybody else, the Tigers have some decisions these last 10 days or so of spring training.
Yeah, it's getting down to where you have to trim your rosters up. Brad Ausmus and the Tigers will play an exhibition game right here in the Tampa Bay area. They'll play the Rays over at Tropicana Field in an exhibition game before they open up their regular season. Well, what an at-bat to finish off the inning. Back and forth, Hutchison racks up his second strikeout to close out the top of the second.
On the heels of 6 consecutive victories, England faces Lithuania in a UEFA Euro 2016 qualifier. That is coming up next, right after our game here on Sportsnet 1. Buck.
Thank you, Barry. We move to the bottom of the second inning. Justin Verlander had a 1-2-3 top half of the first. It'll be Edwin Encarnacion, Josh Donaldson, and Dalton Pompey for the Blue Jays. Edwin has just 7 at-bats this spring. He has walked 4 times, but he was plagued by some back issues, and they wanted to make sure he was 100% before they put him back in the game.
Looking for that first hit. Had a couple of walks in yesterday's game. Said he was seeing the ball a lot better. So he's going to be ready to swing it early in the count this afternoon. And you can see on that first pitch from Verlander, it was out of the strike zone, and Edwin ready to crank it up, check the swing, but went a little too far. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Verlander.
How much does it help a hitter at this time of the spring to face somebody you're familiar with like Justin Verlander?
It certainly helps a lot. Now, the good news is you know the guy. The bad news is it's Justin Verlander, and he's throwing and dotting that fastball. He's throwing hard. But you're right. But where Edwin is in spring training, I think it's a good thing for him because you mentioned he's only had 7 at-bats. And you want to get your timing down. You want to be able to track the ball and see the ball. The last week or so of spring training, that's when you start putting a game plan together.
Well, I tell you what, Verlander's made some good pitches. I think he's going to be pleased with the quality of the pitches he's made. He's not getting a lot of cold strikes, but he's making a lot of good pitches.
Down in the strike zone and out of the middle of the plate, especially to Bautista, now Encarnacion.
Bouncing ball, that is a fair ball. Across the diamond in time, and Encarnacion's out. Let's check in with Barry Davis. He's got a little bit more on Edwin.
Well, guys, as you saw him running down the line, the back seems fine. In fact, he was originally scheduled to play first base today, but with Russell Martin catching, he needed someone to DH because he wants Martin to DH tomorrow. So Edwin is fine. He will play first base tomorrow. And talking with Alex Anthopoulos and Edwin, the hope is that he'll be able to play a lot of first base during the regular season. Guys?
Well, thank you, Barry. I think ideally they'd like to see him play first base a bit, but I think he's probably going to be most productive as the DH if one of the first basemen can separate themselves from the pack.
Had a chance to come out to the ballpark the other day on Wednesday when the ball club was out of town. Edwin was staying back working with Luis Rivera. He looked fine defensively. He was moving around. He was working on that 3-6-3 double play where you hold the runner on over at first base. He was working on his backhand. He looked fine to me. Ready to start the season physically.
Edwin, for the last couple of seasons, has had bouts with nagging injuries that's knocked him out of the lineup.
And how has his Aprils been?
Yeah, terrible. It's off to bad starts. Last year, he didn't hit a home run until his 20th game. Everybody said, what happened to the power? He had 2 home runs in April and then tore it up in May. It's 16 home runs in the month of May.
Proof that spring training, you need the at-bats in spring training to get ready for the season.
This is Josh Donaldson in the 5th spot. He's behind 1 and 2. He goes. Donaldson, of course, coming over from the Oakland A's. He's hit 3 home runs so far this spring. Donaldson a year ago had 29 homers and 98 RBIs. Verlander catches Donaldson with a fastball, and Donaldson turns to ask the ump about whether or not it was high enough. Second strikeout for Verlander.
Remember the shot we had of Verlander walking off last inning, having a talk with the home plate umpire? He's saying, where were those pitches? Well, now it's a strike. He's getting on top of that fastball, and he's got a great delivery and really driving the ball down in the strike zone.
Justin Verlander was the MVP and Cy Young Award winner in 2011, and Donaldson said, I don't care about that. I want a good pitch to hit. This is Dalton Pompey, a switch hitter, batting left-handed against Verlander. Dalton's had a good spring. Off speed and took a little something off that fastball. He was out in front.
I think you'll see Dalton getting better and better. As much as he plays and as many at-bats as he's getting, Butch Jacoby was telling me today how he was so impressed with him the other day when he had 2 strikes and he just shot a ball to left field. A lot of times young players, they get a little nervous with 2 strikes. You could see he was very mature and just taking that ball the other way and getting himself a base hit.
He hit a ball here yesterday off Cole Hamels, batting right-handed. It would have been a home run on a normal day, but the wind was blowing in from center field, knocked it down, and he motored around the bases for a triple. Well, Pompey appears to have gotten himself an opportunity to play in center field to start the season.
Certainly looks that way. And he has won the center field job.
There's one deep to right, and this one's going to leave the ballpark. That won't hurt his chances. Home run number 1 for Dalton Pompey, and it comes with 2 outs.
You know, we were talking about young hitters and knowing the count and knowing where they are in the ball game. And with 2 strikes, he'll feather a ball to left field. Well, 3-1 against Justin Verlander. That's the time to look for a fastball and see how far you can hit it. And I think that's exactly what he did right there. I'm going to look for a fastball. He gets it. It's right down the middle. And that one's not coming back. That's a sweet-looking swing right there.
And his first big league home run last season against Felix Hernandez. Now he takes the former Cy Young Award winner deep here for his first homer of the spring. Justin Smoak. Smoak is a switch hitter. It's a good feeling for any player to get off the snide and hit your first home run in the spring.
You always want to get one, don't you, in spring training, just to prove that you can do it?
Smoak rolls over on that pitch and bounces it foul.
What if you hit 9? Like Chris Bryant's done, huh?
Yeah, I think they have really forced the hand of the Cubs out there in Arizona with Chris Bryant. He's got 9 home runs. That is 4 more than anybody else in baseball.
Mm-hmm. Then you start saying, hey, I got to start saving these things for the season.
And they put him out in the field.
Yeah.
0-2 to Smoak. Pulled to the right side. They play that shift on him. That's the third baseman, Castellanos, out there. A 2-out home run for Dalton Pompey off Justin Verlander. The Blue Jays have taken a 1-0 lead.
Fans, don't miss the current issue of Sportsnet magazine. It's the Blue Jays season preview edition. It has everything you need to get you ready for the upcoming season on newsstands now, and I'm sure you'll read a little bit about your next guest, Buck and Tabby.
Thank you, Barry. Indeed, it is Michael Saunders, the Canadian, who is kind enough to join us from the dugout. Michael, how are things going with your knee so far this spring?
Things are going really well. We're progressing as planned, and we're taking it day by day. I'm excited to get going here.
That's a fair ball. Drew Hutchison dove for that popped-up bunt off the bat of Hernan Perez. It's a fair ball on the base hit. Michael, it's probably been great relief for you to find out that the injury wasn't as bad as initially thought. Now, what's the time frame for you from this point forward?
We're not setting a specific date per se. Like I said, we're just taking it day by day. My knee's feeling strong, and we're going to start progressing here.
Michael, I hate to bring up some bad feelings and everything, but tell the people at home who don't know what happened to you, how the injury happened, the diagnosis, and how you changed what you were going to do to get yourself back quicker.
Just a freak accident on one of the backfields in the minor league complex, and stepped in the wrong spot. Heard my knee pop, and then immediately started swelling up. I knew something was wrong. Got the diagnosis that I tore my meniscus, and basically we had 2 options. One was to repair it, which was going to put me on crutches for about 6 weeks, and then out till give or take All-Star break. And then the other option was to remove it. And Originally, my thought process was repairing it, thinking about my kids down the road, wanting to be able to run around with them, and when I get a little bit older for possible implications down the road. And then as I started thinking about it more and more, the morning of the surgery, I had a change of heart to remove it, realizing that I'm not going to be playing baseball at that age anyways. And right now I'm a baseball player. I'm a Toronto Blue Jay, and I want to get back out there as soon as possible.
How does it feel to be with the Blue Jays after spending your whole career with the Seattle Mariners? Now you kind of come home and playing for Canada's only baseball team.
Yeah, nobody's more excited than I am. And to get traded this offseason, I couldn't have chosen a better team. I grew up a huge Blue Jays fan, growing up in Victoria. And, growing up, I thought that one day how cool would it be to be able to actually put on the Blue Jays uniform before, I end my career. And, like I said, nobody's more excited than I am to be here. And for me, it's an honor to be able to wear this uniform. And it's not just about representing Toronto, the organization. It's also about representing my country as well.
Michael, does that enthusiasm to play for the Blue Jays and coming to the new team, does that make you want to work a little bit harder? Do you find yourself you have to slow it down so you don't overdo it too soon?
Nothing makes me want to work harder. It's just all in the work ethic that you develop as a professional athlete. It doesn't matter what team you play for. You're representing not only the team but yourself as well. And it's a mindset and an attitude. That being said, this obviously isn't the way I wanted to start off my Blue Jay career. So I do want to get back out there as soon as possible, but it's going to be my knee that dictates that.
Michael, there's been a dramatic turnover of personalities in that clubhouse, and you've had a chance to see the clubhouse. A lot of new guys coming in. Have they developed a chemistry at this point in spring training?
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely a team, a unit. It's a great clubhouse. We're all smiling, having fun. And especially for the new guys, including myself that came over, it was very warm, welcoming, and we're all on the same page. And this is a team game, and we're gelling very well. And we're all very excited to play together, to work together, and we all have the same goal in mind.
Michael, you grew up in the Mariners system, and they had a reputation for developing great pitching, and there's none better than Felix Hernandez. You've seen some great arms in this camp. How do they match up to some of those great arms you saw as a Mariner?
I was just telling the guys how excited I am, especially for the young guys coming up. The fans have a lot to be excited for with this team. It's an absolute shame what happened to Stroman, obviously, but there are plenty of guys that are able to come in and fill in that role, and they're ready. And I've got to see a lot of great pitching over the years, obviously led by Felix Hernandez, but this team, we're going to pitch well, we're going to hit well. And I think that just looking at the guys, that we're going to be incredibly competitive. And, we should be playing October baseball, and that's our mindset.
You've spent the last couple of days down in the minor leagues, I believe, getting some hits and some at-bats down there.
Trying to.
We're all trying to. How's that going?
It's going really good. Just to rip up the dirt in the box a little bit, get myself settled in, start seeing live pitching. I'm trying to stay ahead of the 8 ball, and once I'm able to clear to run the bases, actually get in the outfield during games, I want to be ahead of the game. And in order to do that, I need to start seeing some pitches. So luckily, it doesn't bother me when I swing. So I've been able to start accumulating at bats to try to limit the rust when I'm ready.
When you see a new manager, a new hitting coach, and is there a tendency to try to make sure you don't drift from what has worked for you in the past, just in an effort to please your new skipper?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I made a stride. I made a minor adjustment at the end of 2013 and took that into last year, and it really worked for me. And it's taken me a while to develop as a hitter, mainly for the lack of understanding myself, not only as a hitter but a player. I really feel like I'm starting to come into my own. Due to the fact that I'm understanding what I kind of bring to the table, my strengths and weaknesses, and who I am as a player.
Well, it's great to have you here, Michael. We certainly appreciate time, and I know we're as anxious as you are to see you back on the field in a regular game, and want to wish you the best in all your rehab.
It'll be soon. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right. Great to have you, Michael. And that's Michael Saunders, one of the new Blue Jays, and certainly You can hear it in his voice, the enthusiasm he has to get back on the field. Anthony Gose bunts one, and he's out at first base, but the runner from third comes in to score. Perez had advanced on the hit and run. And we've got a tie game at 1-1. Anthony Gose dropped down a perfect bunt and picks up an RBI.
Served two purposes right there on that bunt by Gose. We've seen it over the last couple of years, him improving that part of his game. But it gets the run in from third base, and it gets the double play out of order, gets another runner into scoring position. Some heads-up baseball right there by the Tigers.
You know, one thing I took out of our interview with Michael Saunders is the fact there are a lot of new guys here. And it seemed as though they have come together. We mentioned the Blue Jays won 14 games, and you can discount and say whatever you want to about a record in spring training, but it seems as though winning has become #1 priority for this group of players.
You only have to look back just a couple of years for the Blue Jays. Remember the turnover they had just a couple of seasons ago, and that just didn't work out. The formula just wasn't right for them. And they have struggled over the last couple of years. This formula, for some reason, the players that they have brought in here, this one seems to be working.
Yeah, and I think it has to do with Michael Saunders and his personality, Josh Donaldson, his personality, Russell Martin, of course, as a catcher, has a chance to impact more people simply because he's dealing with an entire pitching staff.
Yeah, and it helps to have Aaron Sanchez and Marcus Stroman and Drew Hutchison and all these young pitchers that the Blue Jays are starting to push through Daniel Norris through their farm system, getting them up to the big leagues because they grew up Blue Jays.
It has never been more important in professional sports to have homegrown talent. John Sherholz of the Atlanta Braves, who had such a terrific run, 14 straight division titles, said the secret sauce to success in the major leagues is homegrown talent.
You get those young players, they're controllable. They're your players. They grew up in your system. They're going to be playing for that name on the front of the jersey.
2-1. There's a fly ball to center. Pompey is there, tagging at second, and he's going to stop is Austin Romine. Andrew Romine, excuse me. As Hutchison gets the fly ball out. Now there are 2 down. Pompey did a nice job getting position to make sure the runner didn't take a chance to advance.
Ball had a lot of English on it off the bat of Alex Avila. That ball was slicing away from him, and he just played the ball, got behind it, planted that right foot, and Romine cannot move up.
Romine had the hit and run single to left field. He's now at second base with 2 outs. Here's J.D. Martinez, the right fielder. First pitch struck. Martinez grounded out to short his first time up.
Tigers manufacturing the run. They have hit the ball very hard off of Hutch this inning, but they've got a run in and another run out there.
Down and away. Hutchison dove on a popped-up bunt down the third base line. Got a glove on it, but made contact in fair territory. That was off the bat of Perez, the second baseman. That started the inning, and Perez came around to score. After that swing, what would you throw on this next pitch?
Well, you got first base open right now, I think. It looked like a breaking ball away. You could probably come inside with something hard. Maybe Martinez, who's become a very good RBI man for this team. He might be looking for something away.
J.D. drove in 76 a year ago for the Tigers. That pitch is upstairs, and Hutchison missed with the fastball. Drew Hutchison in his third inning of work. He'll have this and one more start before the regular season.
And this is about the time pitchers really start ramping it up in spring training. Your second to last start. He's got 85 plus pitches, and I'm not sure where that's going to take him. Could be 6, could be 7, it could be 5.
Tyler Collins, a left-handed hitter, is on deck. Full count. Andrew Romine at second. He missed with that fastball. And he's not too happy with himself right now. And Russell Martin's going to take a trip to the mound. That's the first walk issued by Hutchison this afternoon. That's one thing the Blue Jays have dramatically improved upon this spring. As a team, that was just the 47th walk they have issued this spring. That's the lowest total in the American League.
We heard that at the beginning of spring training from the Blue Jay personnel that, hey, the pitchers that we have in camp are all strike throwers. Well, it has played out over the last 3 weeks or so of the spring training schedule. Pounding the strike zone, they're using their fastball, they're spotting it where they need to, using their changeup. Makes Pete Walker's job a lot easier, doesn't it?
Well, you know what? It really engages everybody on the team. When you're throwing strike after strike, the infielders, of course, have to be on their toes. Same for the outfielders.
There's nothing worse than a pitcher standing out there. Can't find the strike zone.
Well, he walks Martinez and jumps ahead of Tyler Collins 0-2.
How much of, I'm just going to throw this out there, the pace of play has to do with the Blue Jay pitchers throwing more strikes?
It's everything. When you throw strikes and everybody is working quickly, pitchers work quickly. How about that? He walks a guy and then comes back to throw 3 strikes to get out of the inning. It's a 1-1 game here in Dunedin, and the Hot Dogs, they're ready. You want one?
Flex Packs are back for 2015. You pick the games and the reserve seats that get you closer to the action at Rogers Center. Purchase a 2015 Blue Jays Flex Pack before March 30th and receive a free Blue Jays New Era cap. For tickets, 416-341-1234 or bluejays.com/free cap offer. Buck.
Thank you, Barry. And you want to make sure that you check out the Tigers, and when they're coming to town. Detroit won't be in Toronto until the final weekend of August, 28th, 29th, and 30th of August. So make sure you put those dates down in your calendar. We know how many people in Ontario are Tiger fans, whether they want to admit it or not.
Yeah, there's a few. We work with a few, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Kevin Pillar in left field. Pillar missed about a week's worth of activity because of a strained oblique. He's had a good spring.
He just continues to impress, doesn't he? Just go out there, let him face these pitchers, and he'll find a way.
Pillar's had an uphill battle his entire career. Coming out of high school, he wasn't approached by college, a D1 school, to play baseball, so he ended up going to a smaller Division II school in Los Angeles. He takes a 4-pitch walk from Verlander. Good start for the Blue Jays here in the third. That's the first walk issued by Justin Verlander. The Blue Jays know Verlander very well, obviously. He is 3-3 in 9 career starts against the Blue Jays, and one of those starts was pretty special. He pitched a no-hitter against the Blue Jays May 7th, 2011 at Rogers Center. That was his second career no-hitter, and he was a walk away from pitching a perfect game.
How about that? Rookie of the Year in 2006, Cy in 2011, MVP 2011. He's got a lot of hardware.
Hit and run is on, and Goins swings right through it, and Pilarza sitting back.
Well, you got to figure something was going to be up with Verlander on the mound. 4-pitch walk. John Gibbons elects first pitch. Let's play hit and run. It worked for Detroit in the top of the inning. Let's see if it worked for the Blue Jays. And as soon as he swings through that, no chance for Kevin Pillar. The runner at first base, it's not a steal. You just take off. So you don't run as fast as you can at the beginning. It's a hit and run, and he's nailed at first.
If Goins does that on the first pitch, Pillar ends up safely at second. Now there are 2 down. Those are the little things that John Gibbons has asked his extra players to do all spring long. And Goins, he's had a good spring, but a couple of times in those situations he hasn't been able to deliver.
There was a bunt that was not put down, I know, earlier in the
What did he do?
In the spring, and now the missed hit and run. Now heading out to see Justin Verlander. He got off the mound. I wonder if he slipped or if he pulled something covering first base.
Training staff is out there. It's Jeff Jones in the middle, along with the manager, Brad Ausmus, and he's talking about something in the back of his arm. Obviously, at this point of the spring, you don't want to have any kind of nagging injuries pop up here at the end, and Jeff Jones shaking his head. Let's take a look and see if we can't pick up something on this replay. There didn't seem to be anything related to his legs, but he's got a concerned look on his face, and now they're talking it over. And now you just have to weigh the values of finishing off this outing or jeopardizing the start of the season. It is raining now, and the grass is wet, but we didn't appear to see anything that may have been related to him slipping or anything. But it looks like Verlander is pleading his case to stay in the game, and I think Brad Ausmus just ended that discussion.
Yeah, it looked like he was doing all the talking, and he was telling him what was wrong. He was trying to stay in the game, but you can't take any chances with a guy like this.
No, not at all. He had a down year last year. Now an apparent injury has knocked him out of this game. It's a 1-1 game with 2 outs, bottom of the third. Left this ball game with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. That is Matt Rankin, the assistant trainer. Kevin Ram, the trainer, is not here with the Tigers right now, and it looks as though he's explaining, I felt something when I got fully extended out there, and certainly anything at this point of the spring, you're going to raise the red flag.
He never gets hurt. That's a guy pitches 200 innings. Book it. Since 2007, just one of 3 pitchers to throw at least 200 innings every year. So when you have some problems like that this late in spring training, shut them down. Let's bring in a new pitcher, and that's going to be Kyle Ryan, the tall, lanky left-hander, 6'5", 180 pounds. He was a 12th round draft pick of the Tigers in 2010. He actually got into 6 games last year with the Tigers. 2-0 record last year with the big league club. There is his 26 starts in AAA. So he will finish up what Justin Verlander started this inning.
And you can see him continuing to try to explain the root of that problem. And he seems to be kind of baffled by it because it doesn't appear to be something that is there. He's just trying to search for what caused that initial pain that allowed him to, forced him to react to it.
You don't see him grabbing an area also in his arm. A lot of times when pitchers have a problem, they'll grab that position in the arm or the shoulder or the oblique, whatever it is. He doesn't do it. He just reaches out. That's a mystery.
Well, you want to err on the side of caution right now. I mean, to me, he looked great. All the pitches we saw, he threw all of his pitches, had good velocity up to 95. Reyes popped out his first time up. Drives this ball deep to left field. Tyler Collins on the edge of the warning track makes the catch, so Kyle Ryan comes in to close out the third. We move to the fourth. It's a 1-1 game here in Florida.
Brought to you by Scott's Coated Grass Seed. This spring, build up your outfield, even if you miss a day of watering, with Scott's Coated Grass Seed.
The lights are on here in Dunedin as it has really started to rain very lightly, but they have put the lights on to make sure it doesn't get too dark here this afternoon. Drew Hutchison into his 4th inning of work this afternoon. There's a lot of run on 3 hits. Nick Castellanos goes after the first pitch and pops it up. Brian Goins, the second baseman, takes charge. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 4th. We mentioned Drew Hutchison and how much he had grown in his first full season a year ago. Remember, he came up in 12, had Tommy John surgery. Missed all of 13. He went 11-13 for the season, but he made 32 starts. One thing that I love about Drew Hutchison is he doesn't get rattled, and he doesn't give in to errors behind him. He didn't allow an unearned run last year. So if there's an error behind him, he has the ability to block it out, stay focused, and pitch around those errors.
Well, he's a baseball player. You and I have talked about that before, that he's grown up on the baseball diamond. He knows, and he was an everyday player. He played some infield, so if you make an error, he knows that his teammates didn't do that. Your job then is to go out and pick your teammate up after they make an error.
Well, it's interesting. R.A. Dickey allowed 12 unearned runs in 215 innings. Burley allowed 7. Stroman and Happ 3 and 5 respectively. There's a changeup for the strikeout. That is fourth strikeout of the afternoon for Hutchison.
And that's that changeup. We've seen that really incorporated by the Blue Jays a lot this spring. That must be the influence of Russell Martin. There is the grip right there, the 3-finger change, and you just roll it right off of your fingers. The whole key to that is you have to have the arm speed. You got to make it look like it's a fastball.
This is James McCann, the catcher. McCann struck out to end the second.
You know, to finish up what we were talking about Hutch and how he's starting to mature and get better as he goes along, he says the one thing I really want to improve on is stop the bleeding. He found himself in a lot of innings last year where he just couldn't get that final out, and he'd give up, a 2-run single before he left. He's trying to figure out how to limit the damage, I guess you could say.
Well, stop the bleeding is the perfect phrase, because you'll get out there and you give up 1, 2, and if you do that and limit the damage to 2 runs, this offense can come back and score a ton of runs. Well, what a bounce back inning for Drew Hutchison. He allowed a run last inning. This time 3 up, 3 down with a pair of strikeouts. 5 so far.
At Bat is the official app of Major League Baseball. Listen to live audio, follow games pitch by pitch, and enjoy in-game video highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Android, and BlackBerry. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. It is an app that, Buck, you and I and Pat all use and very much like that.
We sure do use it a lot. We're using it today, of course. We use it all the time. Keep track on everything that's going on around baseball. Russell Martin will lead things off for the Blue Jays. Facing a left-hander, Justin Verlander, in case you just joined us. Left with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. With an apparent arm injury. We've not been given an update on that. There's a strike on the inside corner. Kyle Ryan, the youngster, is into the game. Ryan is 23 years old, from Auburndale, Florida. He was a 11th round pick by the Tigers in 2010.
Had a little bit of a cup of coffee with them last year. Actually started a second game of doubleheader back in August last year against the White Sox. Fastball's got some good movement to it. Tops out about 93 miles an hour. Curveball's changeup is a work in progress. Starting to cut that fastball a little bit more now, but that number one. That fastball is always moving.
Russell Martin with a 3-1 count. Didn't like it, takes a strike. This is the 13th game Russell has played behind the plate, his 14th game overall. He has made a conscious effort to make sure he catches all the pitchers just to get to know them, this being his first year with the Blue Jays. What has Russell told you about the catchers he's seen so far in this camp? About the pitchers, excuse me.
He told me the other day that he is impressed with all of the young pitchers that they've had, and said they're working on throwing strikes, commanding the fastball. He thinks that's the number one thing that they have to do a good job of, command the fastball. They're using the changeup a little bit more. He's been very impressed with all the young pitchers that the Blue Jays have brought to camp this year.
Ryan gets his first strikeout. He's retired both batters he's faced since coming into the game.
Here's that movement that we were just talking about. He cuts that fastball right underneath the back of Russell Martin to pick up his first strikeout. Second time this afternoon that Russell has gone down swinging.
That off-speed pitch is down and away to Jose Bautista. Bautista, big numbers again last season, 35 homers. This has got a chance, left field, and they're just going to watch this one sail out of the ballpark. Home run number 5 for Bautista. And the Blue Jays have taken the lead. That was a no-doubter. He looks like he's ready to start the season. Let's go to New York.
Home run number 5 on the string, RBI number 10. Yeah, he's ready. 1-0, and he gets a fastball grooved right down the middle of the plate. And how many times have we seen this swing before? Lifts the leg, high fly ball, and then Tyler Collins, the left fielder, I don't know if he did not pick the ball up or he knew that this ball was leaving the yard. But Bautista can circle the bases.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of both. Initially, I don't think he saw it. And then once he saw it, he said, well, I'm not going to catch that one. There's another fly ball. This one's not quite as deep. This is over toward the line in foul ground. Collins gets there, makes a nice catch as he slams into the fence. Encarnacion just out in front of it. 2 down.
Well, this is what makes the Blue Jays so dangerous to the opposition. You got Bautista, he goes large for a home run. Then you've got Encarnacion. He just missed that one. That one was just off the end of the bat a little bit. And now you've got to buckle up and you got to face Josh Donaldson.
Yeah, and I don't care who you are, it's difficult to get through this part of the lineup without suffering some damage. The Blue Jays were second in the American League in home runs a year ago with 177. The Orioles had 211. Donaldson, as we mentioned earlier, hit 29 home runs last season for Oakland.
In a big ballpark. I mean, if you've ever been to Oakland, you've seen that ballpark. It's something to try and get that ball out of that ballpark. I think he's going to enjoy hitting at Rogers Center this year.
Hit his first career home run at Rogers Center as a member of the A's. Heads up. That was a shot right into the camera well down there at first base.
Barry's down there, isn't he?
Two and two. Another foul. This one over the seats and out of play. Well, we mentioned Donaldson in his move to Rogers Center. It's a ballpark. You know, all hitters love hitting at Rogers Center, and I think it's going to benefit Donaldson. I think it's going to benefit Smoke as well.
I think all the new guys are going to love it. Michael Saunders, I mean, they were playing Justin Smoke, Michael Saunders, Josh Donaldson in ballparks that were gigantic. And the ball doesn't carry. Now they're going to be coming over to the American League East with smaller ballparks where the balls really travel. You're going to see the home run totals go up by all those guys.
Another 2-2, another foul.
Donaldson's first career home run came in 2010. It came off a left-hander, Dana Evelyn. It was May 1st at Rogers Center. He has 3 career home runs against Mark Burley. He has always hit well against lefty pitching. In fact, 30 of his career 63 home runs have come against lefties. Right now, he is locked in on Kyle Ryan, the young left-hander. Bautista has homered here this inning.
Can't throw him a strike here. You're right on. He is locked in. Anything he throws up there, he's going to hit hard. So maybe throw something off the plate.
Good call. Let's see if he'll swing. He was in a swing mode, and he didn't chase that ball in the dirt. If I'm Kyle Ryan on the mound, I might do the same thing here.
It's fought back to 3-2.
Well, he is on everything he sees. This is popped down the right side, and it's going to be in foul ground, but in play. As J.D. Martinez makes the play, that ends the inning. But Jose Bautista goes deep to left field, his 5th of the spring, his 10th RBI, and has given the Blue Jays a 2-1 lead. Added telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. We move to the 5th. The Blue Jays have a 2-1 lead thanks to Jose Bautista's 5th home run of the spring. Drew Hutchison continues to pound that strike zone. Hutchison has 5 strikeouts through 4 innings. Hernan Perez scored the Tigers' run. Hutchison is a very good fielder and makes quick work of that comebacker.
He just lands in great position to field his position. As do all the Blue Jay pitchers. Watch, it's a very simple wind-up. He's got that second foot down, and the reaction spears it. Takes away a base hit.
How much more athletic are the Blue Jays overall as a team this spring compared to last year?
You know, you and I were talking about that today. And in the opening, we were showing the depth chart, and we were talking about the jobs that are still up for grabs and the guys who've taken over and won jobs. I think, hands down, athletically, all over the diamond, the Blue Jays have become more athletic. You've got Dalton Pompey in center field, who is a terrific athlete. Justin Smoke. I can't remember a defensive first baseman for the Blue Jays. Probably Lyle Overbay is the last one.
Pompey on his horse. It is over his head. Hits at the base of the wall off the bat of Andrew Romine. Romine is 2 for 2 so far this afternoon. Pompey was shallow, but that ball was smoked to the base of the fence in center.
That ball was hit hard. He had a couple of steps where he thought he could get it, but the ball just kept carrying. So he backs off, plays it off the wall. It's an extra base hit for Romine, but Pompey in center field, and Pilar, Donaldson, Russell Martin, so many athletes all over the diamond. You can just see the upgrade from last year's ball club.
The game is transitioning back to pitching and defense. And the commissioner, Rob Manfred, has talked about, well, we need to increase the offense. Well, the offense will adjust. Baseball will take care of itself on the field. One out. Anthony Gose gets jammed on an inside pitch. Gose has singled and had a sacrifice bunt and an RBI.
You know, I think it's imperative also for the Blue Jays where they play at the Rogers Center on the turf that they have athletes all over that diamond.
Oh, 0-1 to Gose. We have just been informed as to the nature of the injury to Justin Verlander. He had experienced cramping in his right tricep. He will be further evaluated once the team gets back to Lakeland. So hopefully it's nothing more than that. Gose hits it off the end of the bat. That's slicing down the left side. That's going to be foul and into the corner.
Verlander didn't look too concerned, did he?
No, he didn't. He looked more confused than anything as to why would it cramp up in that spot. And you know, Brad Ausmus is not going to be totally relieved until he hears the final evaluation. Well, they lost Max Scherzer from last year's team. He left free agency out. They got that terrific contract. Max Scherzer, 39-8 the past 2 seasons for the Tigers. Oh, what a pitch. Oh, you talk about commanding the inside part of the plate. Hutchison has been wearing it out so far this afternoon.
And again, that is one of the things that he wanted to work on this spring, fastball command. This time he freezes Anthony Gose with that good heater. Held right there by Russell Martin. When you can make that sinker go away from the left-handers and then lock them up with that fastball, you can pitch.
So Scherzer is not in this rotation, nor is Rick Porcello, who had 15 wins for the Tigers last year.
You know,
how about that inside heater? What an inning for Drew Hutchison. He gives up a double and nothing more. Tigers leave a run.
The home opener is sold out, but there is a way to get yourself a pair of tickets. All you have to do is post a photo or video of you showing your Blue Jays spirit along with the hashtag WinTBJOpener to Twitter or Instagram. One lucky fan will receive a pair of tickets to the Honda opening night on Monday, April 13th against the Rays. Prize includes tickets, airfare, and hotel. Full contest rules at bluejays.com/home opener. Buck and Tabby, I'm happy to report our cameraman Bobby here is feeling much better. He got line drive right on the top of the foot. He blocked it from me, so I thank him for that, and he's nursing an ice pack on the foot.
Barry, you're supposed to jump in front of it and take one for the team.
He's just too fast for me.
The new pitcher is Bruce Rondon, who missed the entire season a year ago with Tommy John surgery. He's trying to recapture what he had in the 2013 season.
Here are his numbers in 2013. He's listed at 6'3", 275 pounds. He's got some kind of fastball.
The big concern about pitchers returning from Tommy John is their command. Generally, the velocity comes back very quickly, but it's the command's the last thing to really get zeroed in on. Dalton Pompey homered off Justin Verlander with 2 outs in the second. His first spring training home run. Blue Jays have scored both their runs on long home runs. There's a sharply hit base hit into right. Pompey continues to have a very good spring with the bat.
Well, again, he gets himself into a fastball count, and Rondon can rush it up there. But if you get the lower half going, you get the hands going, and don't try and overswing. Just use your hands like he does right there. You can pull that 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Pompey's 2 for 2, a home run, and now a single.
Justin Smoke grounded out to third base his first time up. A year ago for the Mariners, he had 7 home runs. He has had a 20 home run season. He grounded out third base, who was in right field with that defensive shift.
And now he's got the whole left side to work with if he wants to. The one thing they're trying to get him to do is be a little bit more aggressive, especially early in the count. Let it go. He's a big guy, 6'4". You mentioned the 20 home run season that he had earlier in his career. He can do that. He just has to get that bat going and get it out and catch it out in front.
For those of you not familiar with Justin Smoke, as we mentioned, he's a switch-hitting first baseman. He was originally drafted as a first-round pick of the Texas Rangers. He went from Texas to Seattle in the Cliff Lee trade.
So that shows you right there how what people think of him, how they think that there's a little bit more in there when you traded for Cliff Lee.
Looked like an off-speed pitch, took something off his fastball and found the outside corner, did Rondon.
He's got a good fastball. He's got a max effort delivery. You can see how big he is and how he generates so much of that speed with that lower half. When he signed 2007 by the Detroit Tigers, he was 190 pounds. Now he's listed at 275.
He's from Valencia, Venezuela. Has produced an awful lot of good pitchers, including the former Blue Jay Henderson Alvarez and Felix Hernandez. So Rondon trying to fortify a bullpen. It had some problems a year ago. Tigers bullpen had a 470 earned run average and a 270 opponent's batting average.
He was supposed to be the closer of the future when he came up. But you mentioned the Tommy John surgery that he had. It was announced about a year ago. 1 calendar year ago, and now he's back out on the mound. That's pretty quick.
It is pretty quick. And of course, the Blue Jays have a young pitching prospect in their own system they're keeping tabs on, Jeff Hoffman, who was taken last year with the first pick. Blue Jays took Hoffman knowing that he had just undergone Tommy John surgery.
And he's starting to throw now, isn't he? You
yes,
had a chance
he is.
to watch him.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball and looks pretty good. 2-2 pitch. Rondon thought it was in there, and it's called low. He wanted that pitch. He set up that backdoor breaking ball perfectly and didn't get the call. Pompey at first. Not running. Ball is hit high and deep to center. Anthony goes back at the track, at the wall. Home run, Justin Smoke. That 2-2 breaking ball was called a ball, and Rondon had to come with the heat, and Smoke was sitting on it.
1 minute you think you're struck out on a good breaking ball, you get a second chance, and Justin Smoak takes advantage of it. Peter right down Broadway, right in his wheelhouse, and he gets it up into the air. Drives it right out of the ballpark. Blue Jays, all their runs have scored on home run, and you can see Rondon. Why didn't you call that 2-2 breaking ball a strike?
Smoak has had home run seasons of 15, 19, and 20 as a member of the Mariners. Kevin Pillar with a home run cut.
Hey, baby, Smokey.
Third home run of the spring for Justin Smoak, and he told us this morning that he's starting to feel a little bit better at the plate. John Gibbons says, keep that up. He'll be on my team.
3 home runs now for him this spring.
4-1 Jays. Off-speed pitch missed away. It's 2 balls and a strike. Kevin Pillar, we had mentioned that he was a 32nd round pick out of college. He played at Division II school, Dominguez Hill, California State University in California. This is popped up high, but that's going to drift into the seats out of play. Kevin told me that when he reported to play college baseball, his coach told him, listen, you guys, none of you are good enough to play D1 baseball, so you've got to do all the little things well. And that has served Pillar very well throughout his career.
That's what his career has been like, hasn't it? Always having to prove yourself. He looks good to me. We did the game on opening day, homered on that day. Then he's missed about a week or so with the oblique injury. Came right back, hit a home run, first game back.
Against Baltimore's Wei-Yin Chen.
And he just looks a little bit more comfortable. His pitch recognition has been a lot better.
Sharply hit in the hole and short. Romine with the jump throw to first. Scooped it first. Nice play by Alex Avila, the catcher, playing his first game at first base this spring.
Boy, not a bad play over there by Avila, his first game at first base. Looks like he's been doing that his whole career.
Romine appreciates it.
Gets a good jump on this ball. Looked like it was heading out towards left field. He backhands it. He doesn't have time to plant throw, so he throws on the run, jumps in the air. Doesn't get over there on a fly, so Avila helps him out by snatching that ball for the out.
Well, you know he enjoyed that almost as much as Romine appreciated the effort. Alex Avila was an infielder at Alabama when he first started out his collegiate career, and then he got to his sophomore season and they moved him behind the plate. He's played 1 game professionally at first base. That was in 2009 in Double-A.
Looks like he's been doing his whole life right there.
Well, I tell you what, he's not going to get a chance to play first base very much in Detroit. Miguel Cabrera is going to play first base every day, and when he doesn't, you would think maybe Victor Martinez would play, giving Cabrera a day off as they flip-flop from DH to first. Ryan Goins, the second baseman.
Yeah, first base hasn't been a good position if you're the backup first baseman for the Detroit Tigers over the last few years. Prince Fielder played forever when he was with the Tigers. He never took a day off.
He played every day. Good news out of Texas spring training camp. He's healthy.
And he looks good, too.
Yeah.
I've watched him a couple of times this spring at first base. He's moving well. He's swinging the bat well.
Sharply hit, but foul off the bat of Goins. What do you think about Ryan Goins playing a little bit in left field? He's played from third base, about his role possibly being the super utility guy.
I think he can handle it. You know, we were talking last inning about athletes around the diamond. We neglected to mention Ryan Goins. Ryan Goins is a very good athlete. We've seen him at shortstop. We've seen him at second. He can handle anything I think the Blue Jays give him. question has always been, is he going to be able to hit enough to stick around? He's had a good spring. Came into this game hitting .289 with a home run and 5 RBIs.
He started the comeback rally for the Blue Jays in yesterday's game. They scored 48 to win it. 3-2, 1 out. Blue Jays have pounded out 3 home runs this afternoon. Had a good cut at that pitch. Goins has played 13 games at shortstop this spring. This is his 12th game at second, 2 at third, and yesterday finished up in left field.
Teams need players like that can play those multiple positions. John Gibbons, it makes his job a lot easier. He can pencil a guy in if somebody goes down. He's got a guy who can play all over the diamond. The good teams have those type of players.
That's a good walk by Goins as he turns the lineup over, and that'll bring Jose Reyes to the plate. Gibbons may have seen Goins chase that pitch last year in an effort to get a base hit. Right there, he takes a close pitch for ball 4. Jose Reyes 0 for 2 so far. Boy, he's had a good spring. Had a good season a year ago. Hit 9 home runs. Had 30 stolen bases. Caught just twice. Or the rain has intensified here. It had been forecast to arrive around 4 in the afternoon. It's a little bit ahead of schedule.
A little ahead of schedule. And if you're the manager right here, what do you do with your everyday players? You don't want to throw anybody under the bus or anything like that, but you're getting towards the end of spring training. One slip on the diamond, on the wet turf, and your hamstring can go.
Yeah, this is where the manager would turn down the bench and say, hey, Martinez and Tabler, you're in the game. We don't want to get the good players hurt.
Yeah. Go put your spikes on. Go get ready. Everybody else, take it in. Yeah, that's why we made every trip.
Every trip.
We got to know the bus driver so well because we'd see him every other day.
We knew all the rest stops on the highways throughout Florida.
I ran out of paper bags in spring training one year. I packed my lunch so many times.
It is 4-1 Blue Jays, and the skies are getting a little bit darker. In case you're just joining us, the Tigers' Justin Verlander was the starter in this game, and he left the ball game after experiencing cramping in his right triceps. They pulled him out of the game, and they will further examine him once they get back to Lakeland. Reyes gets a base hit through the right side. Goins makes the turn. He'll stop there, and J.D. Martinez overran the ball, and Goins will move to third on the air. Base hit for Reyes, and J.D. Martinez will be charged with an error. Eric Cooper, the umpire, who has moved to second base now, is thinking, what are we doing out here standing in the rain? Evan Travis, the young second baseman, has taken over for Reyes at first, and it's raining hard right now. Of course, you don't have that fully staffed grounds crew to whip out the tarp here in spring training.
They do have the tarp.
They do have a tarp.
Down the left field line, and this is where you say, okay, we got to make a decision here.
Yeah, this is a little tough. Of course, there's still only one out. Now Eric Cooper has made the call. The umpire has waved the teams off the field, and we're going to have a rain delay. Cooper says, you know what, I'm in charge here today, and it's too rainy. So the teams will leave the field, and the grounds crew will come out and cover the field. And hopefully this thing will blow through. It was supposed to be a little bit later in the afternoon, but John Gibbons is talking with Eric Cooper right now. And Blue Jays and Tigers have played 4.5 innings. There's one out in the bottom of the fifth, and nobody's concerned about whether or not to play the game. They just want to make sure that the well-being and safety of the players is first and foremost right now.
Yeah, and you're not sure how long it's going to rain, and if it's an extended period of time, that'll be it for Drew Hutchison. He's not going to crank it back up. You're not going to risk injuring that player. But you're right. When we got to the ballpark, as a player, what's the first thing? You find out the weather report. You hear it's going to be 4 o'clock. That we'll be able to get the game in 4 o'clock, but it seems to have arrived a little bit early.
Yeah, it's kind of socked in right now. Dark clouds are overhead. Blue Jays have hit 3 home runs. Dalton Pompey, Jose Bautista, and Justin Smoke. They have a 4-1 lead here in Dunedin. Winter rain delay here in Florida. And we'll turn you over to alternate programming. We'll come back if we get a break in the weather.
And today's game has now officially been called off. The Blue Jays end up winning it 4-1 after 5 innings of play. Next up for us here on Sportsnet, the Blue Jays take on the Atlanta Braves. That's a 1 o'clock Eastern start live from Dunedin. And just to remind you, stay tuned to Sportsnet. UEFA European Qualifier. It is England versus Lithuania coming up at 3:30. Once